Hi there, I'm Lorna Reeves at MyOhMy Events, and today I'm going to give you a tutorial on how you operate the Zoom meeting once you're inside for your training session. We're going to be covering things like the waiting room, we're going to be covering things like how to share your screen and how to just control participants once you're in the space. Let's go and have a look. Now, from your Zoom account, on your desktop or your laptop, never on a mobile device if you're a host, you're going to come over to your meetings, and once you're here, you're going to start this meeting. Now generally you'll get this pop up, and this is what we want. We want to run on Zoom Meetings, the app. We don't want to run on the browser. Don't run on the browser, it's unstable and you'll get a lot of loss of camera. So we're always going to run from the Zoom app. And that's when you end up with this window, and you'll end up with a pop-up that invites you to join with computer audio, and that's exactly what you want to do. Now I'm not on camera at the moment, but I will pop myself into the room in just a second. I just want to talk you through some of the functionality you have here. You obviously have your mute and unmute button. All of your delegates should be muted during the session. And if someone's having problems, it's usually because their microphone is incorrectly selected. If you're using a plugin like earbuds or you're using headphones, make sure you select the right microphone and speaker. And remember, mic and speaker are different. Speaker allows you to hear, microphone allows you to be heard. So sometimes people have trouble, it's because they've not selected the right inputs and outputs here. You're going to start your video. Now when we did the settings previously, we had everybody being started automatically, and that will save you a lot of trouble. If someone's having problems with their video, make sure they've captured the correct one. You obviously have your security. We enabled the waiting room in the setup, and we enabled the chat. We're going to allow participants to rename themselves as well, so that's going to save us some trouble in the session if it's a big meeting. We don't allow screen share. The only person that can share a screen is the host or co-hosts. Your participants, this is where you're going to control your wait room, and I'll show you how you control your participants here too. You obviously have your chat function, which is in here too, which allows everybody to access the chat, or you can use this drop down and message people individually, and I'll show you how that works when someone's in the room. And this is your record button. Now I strongly advise you use record to the cloud rather than record to your computer. If you're going to be really disciplined and share the recording and then delete from your computer, please do, but these files can get quite large. And there's nothing worse than not having enough space and capacity in your laptop and you're midway through a session. So I would advise you record to the cloud, and I'll show you where those are stored in a second. So let's bring somebody into the room. Okay, so we're back up and running. Okay, so we're back up and running. What I want to show you is that I've just got a new delegate who's entered the room. There she is, Miss Lorna Reeves. Now, I would always advise that your delegates understand that their name needs to make sense. It's no good if this says something really random. We want it to say something like their name, and so make sure when people are setting up their Zoom accounts in the company that it makes sense. We know who that person is, we're expecting them on our list, so we're going to go ahead and hit admit. And there we are, that's them in the room. Now, I've not joined audio for a reason with my alter ego over here. So in the participants window you can see at the moment there's me, the host, and there's this person called Lorna Reeves. For ease and sake, let's rename that person to Bill. So Bill is now in the room. Now I can see from Bill's participant window that their camera is activated but turned off, but they don't have any audio. Now this is going to cause them a problem, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press in here. I'm actually going to send them a message. Hi Bill, can you please start your audio? And they will be seeing at the moment a green button here which says join audio. Bottom left corner, join audio. And we send that, and you can see that goes directly to Bill. It doesn't go to the main group, so not everybody knows that they're having problems, but we do. So Bill's followed the advice and has joined the audio. So you can see now, I've just put that on silent so that we don't get extra feedback, that Bill has joined audio because we can see the microphone has been activated. They are on mute, which is what we want, and they don't have their camera switched on. And if we want them to ask to have their camera switched on, we can certainly ask them to do that. Ask to start video, and that gives a pop-up on your screen, and Bill said that they'll start it later, which is fine. We can only invite people to start. Now you'll notice that everybody's on mute. When we get into the session, you can actually unmute people, but what you can't do is unmute them directly anymore. You used to be able to in Zoom, but they added the security feature where you can now just ask people to unmute, and it puts a pop-up in the middle of their window that says, would you like to unmute? It just gives them a reminder. They've started speaking and not realised they're on mute still. You can give them a reminder. You can't force someone to unmute anymore. Also, you can mute them directly. So if Bill had asked a question and that was still white, I could, from the control panel, just mute them to stop any interference and to keep the audio crisp. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Let's do a quick screen share. So when you're preparing to share your screen, what I want you to do is make sure that you have your PowerPoint presentation as an open but minimized window, so that when you hit screen share, you can see all of the apps you have open. Excuse me. And the Zoom is one of them. What you don't ever want to do is share what's on your screens. This is how people get caught out and show emails inadvertently, or you might show something personal if you're working off a personal laptop that you don't want people to see. So make sure you select the PowerPoint app and share. So now you can see in the recording I'm sharing a screen. Let me pop this over here. So this is the only window that my participants are seeing. Let me move a toolbar for you. So this is what you see as the sharer. Can you see I have this toolbar here? So I can still control my meeting. I can still let people in and out of my waiting room. I can still control the record and the chat. But because I'm screen sharing only the presentation, doesn't matter that I have these windows sat on top. You can run your presentation from here, but make sure you launch it in presentation mode. So this is what your delegates will see, but they will not see this bar here. They'll only see your presentation, and you can go through your presentation directly. And when you're done, you can either start a new share, so you can share a different screen or you can share a different file. Just go ahead and stop share. And that is it. That's how you control people in your waiting room. That's how you control the muting and unmuting, and how you do some troubleshooting while you're going through your session. That's how you access the chat function, and how you message people privately, as well as messaging everybody in the room when you want them to do something particular. Next up, we'll be going through a breakout room function, and I'll run you through that there. See you in the next video.